They're adrenaline junkies, but I still have the utmost respect for those people and their sport.
Base jumpers, not because I'd want to do what they do, but they're not a bunch of crazy guys that just go jump off things all the time. They're lawyers and attorneys and doctors and nurses, and they're respectable individuals in their own communities, and it's just a hobby for them. And you just have to kind of step out of your own shoes and step into theirs and look at it from their perspective.
People at Bridge Day have to make 100 skydives to get to this point before they even make their first base jump. So we got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and money, and travel that's wrapped up in all this. I think safety is definitely something that jumpers have become more aware of lately. With more people jumping out there, we're seeing more injuries. And just like any sport, we're going to have injuries, but jumpers are becoming a little smarter and they're protecting themselves appropriately. Knee pads, elbow pads, gloves, and things like that, ideally to protect from some of the more common injuries.
Between the federal, state, and county and local agencies, there's probably anywhere from 150 to 200 law enforcement involved in this. And that doesn't take into account the fire departments and Jane Care Ambulance. I mean, that's another 100, 150 fire and EMS personnel too. So
every year at Bridge Day, we save a life. As long as I've been organizing, we've always found one of those 450 jumpers that has something wrong with their gear.
See how that works? What's that called? Bridle extension.
Everybody makes mistakes, and particularly our newer jumpers, we've seen them make some mistakes in the past, whether they rig up their risers wrong or they route their pilot tube bridle incorrectly. Our team of experienced riggers checks everybody's gear twice before they jump, and it never fails. At least once every year we find someone with equipment that would have died if they had not been noticed. Probably one of our biggest assets at Bridge Day is our water rescue. We have, I believe it's 28% of all landings land in the New River, and especially our first-time jumpers. So we have to have a dedicated water rescue crew to pluck these jumpers out of the water.
Average response time for somebody hitting the water on Bridge Day today, probably about 10 to 12 seconds. Most of the people actually hit the shore. As far as picking up people in the water, you might go for an hour and not pick anybody up, and then you might have 12 or 15 people in a row.
And I always tell some of the newer jumpers, they're always worried about, what if I land in the water? How long am I going to be down there? Some people have maybe never landed in the water before under a parachute, and they know that they may not be comfortable with the landing area, so they know they're going to land in the New River. They ask me all the time, what's it like? How long am I going to be underwater? How long before a boat comes and picks me up? And I always tell them, before you bob up and take your first breath, there's going to be a water rescue guy probably grabbing the back of your helmet or pulling your parachute aboard.
Most medical situations on Bridge Day are twisted ankles or a fractured shoulder or something like that. For all the talk and hoopla about Bridge Day, it's a relatively safe sport. Those guys work hard, train hard to jump. And, when you have 1,000 jumpers and 3 people have twisted ankles, that's not bad at all.
Most of the base jumping injuries that we see are typically, lower leg extremities type of injuries, broken ankles and legs and things like that. They're very common. Those are the things we see at Bridge Day and around the world.
Over the years, I've been lucky enough to be on ski patrol, and I guess that's where I got my first aid background. And when you think about what happens on a ski slope on a typical day, and what happens on Bridge Day, there's no comparison. On a busy day on a ski slope, you might have 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 people. Sprained ankles, the most broken bone in the body, the shoulder. Broken wrists, ankles, things like that. Mountain biking, same thing. You have concussions, you have people falling off their bikes. Bridge Day, by comparison, is so safe.